Let's try that again. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Welcome. We are here to continue to go through the book that makes us feel shamed as sewers and all that jazz. But I think there's a little dude here who says, Mom, I already sold some breakfast. I already ate twice. Will you give me some snacks? Is it snack time, Mom? Are you sure it's snack time? Loki's not here yet, so let's give us a minute. Here's the piece that we stitched on last week. I guess I should move the hoop over, take my needle off. Not my needle, my presser foot. Just set that over there. Pull up our book. See if we get any more cats. We'll wait a few minutes before cats get snacks to see if Loki decides to come in. You want snacks now? Alright, actually, I know. I'm sure as soon as I open the drawer, we'll have two cats here. This dude is just waiting patiently. For whatever reason, we stayed up till midnight and then slept in this morning. Got woken up to the sounds of meow, meow. So here we are. Life with cats. Alright, Loki, you want some snacks? You think it's time for concessions before the show starts? Because cats can't stitch without snacks first. Okay, gonna have to refill the snack sack before tomorrow. There you are. Still no Loki or Freya. What's going on? Ow, you need your nails cut. He keeps slicing and dicing Loki's poor nose. Okay. Oh, come on, Loki. Come on, sleep away. Hey, little man. Be nice to him. Come on, Loki. Nope, this one's Loki's. Loki, come here. Come on, sweet boy. Want your snacky? Yeah? You're late for the show. Oh, you're so gentle with those big maxi pads. He's so sweet. So sweet. Ow! Okay. Oh, you're so good. Watch out, good boy. You want an extra one? No. Okay. Come on. Ow! Oh. Okay. One more little man, then let's get back to the book. Okay. Where we are inept and terrible sewers, because that's how the book makes us feel. And we would have flunked embroidery stitching school based on what we've read so far. So, let me move in the camera. We can see the table a little better, and let's get to stitching. Okay. Ooh, no, we're headless. The headless seamstress. Should we do a quick practice and see how our... Sure, why not? Let's get back to just practicing the satin stitch, which we've been fondly calling the Satan stitch because we're terrible. I think I have enough bobbins wound up. It's cold. I'm creaky. Oh, that's right. Tomorrow, I think we're going to start the show. We'll do a little sewing warm-up because we sit at the machine, but I think it's good to warm up our shoulders, our wrists. If we're at the treadle, our feet. Not that you can see my feet right now. Have a sip of coffee and practice the satin stitch. Coffee. All right. I know my lines are completely crooked, so that's super fun. Did I set everything up the right way? Yep, checked. Here, I know. I thought I tried to have a back overlay. We've got this cute background that I made, but I thought it was going to be that we would see me and that in the background, but it didn't happen. So we'll get back to it, attempting cute overlays so we can be professional streamers here because we have goals. I want to see if we can get to somewhere between 500 and 1,000 followers on the Rumbles. We'd made it up to 100 on the tubes, and then somebody was like, who is that crazy person? We don't really want to follow them. So I've been back down at 99. Whatever, silly tubes. And I fell into this rabbit hole. So I think after we make it through this embroidery book, we're going to spend a little bit of time working on ribbon quilling. Because I'm intrigued. And when I did a search on the tubes, there isn't anything. Which also means on Rumble there is even less. Oh, stomach. Wow, our stitches are pretty terrible. Oh, but I got the fuck is good. I printed off a Siemens square star to help with our camera focus, and I tried it out this morning. Something is working better. We're not all floozy because we are not I'm not using any filters around here. This is just the way things go. So I'm just going back and up and down, trying to practice fast hands and slow feet using my left index finger as a presser foot, and my right hand moves the hoop both up and down and gently towards the side. Wow. Who didn't sew it all this week? This kid. Oh, hey, welcome to the circus. I'm your host, Phoenix Electra. On Saturdays, which is today, I've been going, words. We've been doing embroidery on the machines, not the embroidery sewing machine, because you can use any machine to do beautiful stitching. So that's what we're doing, and since I just went tits in last year without any real instruction, I thought this year we would start the year by going through one of the OG tutorials, which is the Singer instructions for art embroidery. This is the very first lesson, practicing beautiful satin stitches, and we suck. We are mediocre at best. Continue. It's much easier for me so far to get the practice getting the length consistent than it is to just gently moving the hoop so that the density is appropriate. keep waking up. It's been so much frozen fog in the night times here. You wake up thinking it snowed, and it's not. It's just hoarfrost, which is also beautiful. Oh, I oiled the machine and we've got that squeak came back. I thought that I'd fixed that last week. Tomorrow we've got some fun things. I've got our new leotard to wear to show off, so I can get back to feel like wanting to train, because 2025 fitness. Scale's been treating me nice, which I always appreciate. Because as much as I wish it was true, I cannot break the laws of thermodynamics. So it's still calories in, calories out. If the scale's not moving, I'm either moving too much stuff into my mouth, or I'm not moving enough. Or a combination of both. So we, through a separate change, decreased the in. But I've not been working on the out. And we can do better than that. Wow, these seam stitches, so bad. Yeah, I'm super excited. Ribbon quilling, some fancy over-the-top Victorian dress. It'll be nice when I just feel better in my skin, but the only one that can fix that is me. So we're sick of fatties around here. Oh, this room. You can tell when I've not been doing this. Takes so much practice. This is one of those like 10,000 hours skills. So we are sucking balls. Oh, I'm not sitting up straight. Hey, Jess, welcome. Hope you're having a great Saturday stitching up a storm. Things are pretty good here. Just cold. And I'm not leaving the house. Partly because I'm on my low buy, no buy. I have enough stuff. So I tease myself by scrolling through Craigslist to see $300 sewing machines that I'm not buying. The hard part is the fabric, but I need to get rid of a few more pounds from my stash into my wardrobe. Oh man, that squeak. Oh, my leg's going numb already. This might be a short show. I can't have numb legs during sciatic. I should look for is a different adjustable stool. Ooh, you are getting home from running all the errands and having meetings this morning. Ugh, meetings on Saturdays. Ooh, well, sure is glad to be back home in the warmth of it. It's always nice to be home. Except for when home sucks, and then it's nice to be out. Yeah, we rolled out of bed, had some breakfast. Oh, yesterday I baked bread for the first time in a couple of weeks, which was super nice because I really was craving tomato soup and grilled cheese. So I made bread and homemade tomato soup so I could fill that need. Oh, you have oh, poor Jess, you have to be an adult and clean before I go have fun fair. And that was my excuse. I'm like, oh, I've got to do my show, then I can do my adulting and Saturday tidying. Hey, little dude. You want to come sit with me? Come on. Oh, I won't bash your head this time. Yeah, let's finish this row of satin stitch, and then we'll do a little reading and see what's next in the lessons. I think I remember where I left off reading last week. Oh, so good. So fluffy. So huge. What are you? Don't eat my scissors. What did those Fiskars ever do to you? Hey, he's got this thing with eating the caps of my pens and just my pens in general. So I have to be very careful because I've had to throw a couple of nice ones out because they're cracked. There's nothing going on over there, dude. There's nothing going on. It's just you and me. Oh, smile pretty for the camera. Smile pretty. I know, I keep looking at this giant tub of bias binding and lace and little pieces of things. So I thought when I was delving into that ribbon quilling and ribbon flowers to go through some of the little scraps and make like little tiny rosettes and different things. I have a giant pile, kind of like the years I spent randomly crocheting flowers that I'm slowly attaching to my flower cloak. And I was thinking about that pleated Victorian shirtwaist, Edwardian shirtwaist. Part of the reason I've not gotten back to the finishing of the stitching is because I haven't been inspired to finish the Irish crochet attaching the motifs for the yoke section. So I was like, why do I want to sew the rest of it if I don't have the yoke done? So I should take some time to get back to those pieces of it so we can knock some things off our to-do list. But we're doing pretty good. Out of 25, we are 4 projects down. Almost. Did I do? Almost. I realized I'd had the blue velour leotard and the green skull, and I switched the fabrics because I thought it would be more fun to save the stretch velour to an over-the-top glittered rhinestoned sequined number, but I don't have an act, so I know he is big. He's 15 pounds of cat. He's 2.5, almost 2.5. Yeah, he's a big little boy. And he has this way, his feet look normal size, but he really stretches them out. Not like Loki, who's got his extra thumbs, so he really does have maxi pad feet. Little man just makes his, yeah. And I forgot when I was doing my nails that one of his favorite things is to chew. He loves to groom your hands and chew on your nails. Oh, took the time to make polka dotted nails, and then he goes and tries to eat them because that's what he does. Yeah, I tried that bias binder cutter from our puzzle box, and on the jersey knit, it didn't. I think it's going to do better on a woven fabric. So I cut a whole bunch of bias tape, but I used my rotary tool instead because it was just more successful. Oh, we're almost. No, I shouldn't speak about things getting better on this stitching, because as soon as I do, then it all goes to shiza again. We'll finish this row and do a little reading. Oh. So I keep trying to drive too. My feet want to move too fast. But such is the way sometimes. I know, I haven't stopped by. How's Will doing on his no buy? Has he failed yet? I'll have to stop by. Sometimes I just don't want to sit in the front of a computer and I just want to like hide. I can almost okay. Just reviewing because in front of me. Oh, they're out of the group. Is some of my sketches for the big plans. The exciting one is I think we're going to try some smocking or aka fabric manipulation. Because I'm not doing the drawn thread, I think we're gonna do one of the star motifs. I saw a cute one that kind of reminds me of vertebra, which would be super cute on the back of a dress. Have like an open back, but just a line of the vertebral looking manipulated ornamentation. All right, let's see how bad this stitching looks. It's not good, my friends. It's pretty bad, but yeah, it should be solid on the black, and it's not. There's lots of gapping in here. All right, what are we gonna do? We're just gonna keep practicing. Should we? Up to date 17. He's been great. Oh, awesome. Oh, good. 17 days without shopping. Perfect. Right, because today's the 18th. Oh, silly. Let me presentation. Let me get my screen share. I know there was one thing that my household was working on. Hey, Will, we were just talking about you. Congratulations on 17 days with no shopping. That is pretty good, pretty good. We've also not been shopping anywhere. Yeah, there's just nothing I want or need. I keep thinking about stuff and I'm like, I've got thread, I've got fabric, I've got this, I've got that, I've got the other thing. I got more buttons that I could do an entire button outfit, which would kind of be fun. Oh, can I? It's stop sharing. Can I? Let's share. My entire screen. Oh no, not that one. I have to pull it up. Kilroy sent me this cute little Brunhild cat thing, and I have to figure out how to share it. All right, where did we leave off? All right, let's start with this paragraph. And let me see if I can pull up the chat because I can't see everything. Oh, Will, I have much more time in my hands and I haven't purchased any sewing machines as well. Good. So you can get the ones in your stash maintained, see if you really want it, or sell it when the selling is good. Good, good, good. I know. It's amazing what happens when you don't get distracted. All right, where are we? The entire effect of the work depends on these. Oh, because they were talking about that. What we stitched last week, I think. These leaves that we were fine on. Oh, can I? Just need to like. All right. Where are we? If you have no good patterns to copy, you may first experiment and study effects by making a design on a piece of paper showing how the stitches should be disposed. In this way, with the aid of your pencil, You may seek the best effect until you find it. As you will notice by illustration, the placing of these stitches give a shaded effect that brings out all the modeling and beauty of the pattern. When the work is done on satin, you should use silk of the same color as the ground. Ooh, we've practiced sewing on silk before. It's nice. Or a somewhat lighter tone to produce a mild contrast. This work also admits the use of raised rings, particularly in the center of the flowers. We have some little plastic rings. When the work is done on satin, but if done on bolting cloth, it is preferable to fill the centers with a small web, as you will notice in the illustration in this lesson, figure 1. Oh, they mean from those little circles, I think. Now I'm going to lose where my pattern, where I am. No. Here we go. Nope. No, I lost where we were. Yikes. Oops, what am I doing? We are just losing ourselves. No. Okay, where are we? There we go. Do we know how to stream? Only sometimes. Hey, little dude, you gonna come back and visit me again? Okay. All right, then we're gonna get back to the reading of the manual. Figure 1, sail and bolt. Okay, taken from a sample embroidered on white silk on bolting cloth and showing part of a design for a magnificent bedspread made with these same materials. Ooh, do we want to do that? I don't know. That sounds like it would take forever. As you may suppose, the sample reproduced in illustration is only a small part of the magnificent bedspread. In order to appreciate the beauty of its workmanship, it would be necessary to see it fully extended over an appropriate rose-colored lining. Interesting. That alone would convince you that whatever you imagine in connection with it is far from reality. In figure 2, we reproduce a magnificent Renaissance lace cover containing many lovely lace stitches and 4 sunflowers embroidered in art stitch with silk on linen. That sounds very fancy, and I only have antique silk threads. Okay. The sunflowers were first embroidered with the art stitch, which is also used for the 4 ornaments simulating the leaves of the flowers, which appear in the 4 corners of the cover. The lace stitches were then worked, and the edges of the cover were corded, as were those of the flowers, leaves, and other figures constituting the design. Wow, we can't read. We must warn you that cord should be covered with silk corresponding in color to that used in each figure. That is to say, the sunflowers and leaves should be corded with silk, the same color as the cord that is employed for the art stitch, and the other figures in which these stitches have not been used should be corded with silk, the same color as the groundwork. Oh, okay, I think okay, so let's try that real fast, because I think what they're doing is, Phoenix, did you grab material to prepare for today's show? Sort of. Oh, let's stop sharing the screen for a second, because what we're going to do is we're going to move it. I've got some crochet cotton, and we'll stitch over that, because that's going to give a little raised effect, which is just adds a different texture. So we'll just pop the hoop over on our sampler sheet. Okay. And we'll just tauten it. I am a huge fan. If people can find it, Allie was talking about these, and I'm glad that I found them. These metal old-fashioned embroidery hoops that have the cork on the inside, and they're just held together with a spring. There's not a twisty on it. They're slightly lower profile than modern hoops, so they fit under the needle nicer on the sewing machine, and because they're more slender, I have to stop that clicking noise with my tongue. It annoys me when I hear myself doing it. I'm a big fan of these old-fashioned hoops. I found some at the Goodwill in a completely random section that was not at all where the sewing stuff was. Do I have crochet cotton next to me somewhere? I must. Oh, I'm looked. Phoenix, are you looking at an entire basket with your crochet cotton? Yes. Yes, I am. Okay. So, I'm going to move my hoop, move all these things. Can we kind of see? So for this, what I've tried in the past, it kind of helped. I almost need another spool stand, but we can take the crochet cotton and stitch over it so when we're doing our Satan stitch, we're just gonna go on top of the filler cord, and it's going to give it a little raised texture. Oh, that squeak. I'd oiled so much last week and it was gone, and then I took a week. I didn't sew all week, and now the machine is squeaky again. So I know this white on cream is terrible for the camera to try to see, but I have the filler cord, and we'll just stitch over it a little bit, and then we'll read the next. Then we'll see the next section. Oh. All right, let's goofball. Yeah, he likes it when the machines are all available. Okay, so there we can kind of, there it's looking a little better. Okay. So it just gives it a little bit of a raised texture, and I can move this all around. I know! It is somewhere. We had this happen when we first got this machine. Where? Alright, let me see. Check under the hood here. Let's see if that improve. I know, get the mic working, and then I torture everybody's ears with that horrible squeak. I'm like, there's no winning. Let's see here. I didn't. Oh, that is painful. Where? All right, it's somewhere. It's probably like the one place I forgot to. I can't. Oiled everywhere I could. Let's see if we can just lubricate. I know it's like glass. Oh, I like get the cord and I like completely forget. Your finger's still supposed to act as the presser foot. My right hand is still supposed to move it. Where is that squeak? I'll try again. I'm sorry for everybody's ear holes. Okay. Let me. Oh, now we got the heater kicking off. We just got all the background noise. So here, that little piece where I had the cord underneath, there's the one end, there's the other end, and it just gives a little raised, nice texture to it, just to mix it up a little bit. All right, let's see what's next in the manual. Share this window again. Why does it not like to acknowledge my breathe? There we go. Share. Raised embroidery. This is probably the best known and most common of all needlework, and one may say that which serves as a basis of all that is learned in the schools. In order to explain to you how the work is done on the Singer sewing machine, it is only necessary for us to tell you the size of the needle and the thread to be employed and how to prepare the machine, and then to do with the machine exactly as you would have done with your hands. All right, what are our hands doing? While this is usually the first style of embroidery learned and the one on which the greatest practice is expended when done by hand, this is not the case with the Singer sewing machine. Is the rapid, efficacious medium of execution employed. Wow, the alliteration here sometimes is getting my tongue in a twist. Your attention is called, however, to the fact that it is best not to attempt this new method of doing raised embroidery until you have thoroughly mastered the machine and the movement of the embroidery frame. So we're jumping ahead even though we still suck. To do this embroidery, a maximum of precision is necessary. The cording is referred to as requiring the greatest dexterity, and ability on the machine is not nearly so important as the work we are now taking up. This requires the greatest precision in the stitches and the utmost certainty in properly placing it. Raised embroidery is extremely delicate because of the high perfection that must be attained. The design should be stamped upon the material to be used, and this in turn should be placed on in the embroidery frame, stretching it as smoothly and tightly as possible. See the figure 1. All this cute little tulips with not tulip leaves. I think just doing a filling stitch and then satin stitch on top of it. The embroidery is to be done on lingerie. Thread the machine with number 100 embroidery cotton Winding the bobbin with the same thread, have the upper tension just medium, to under tension a little tight. Okay, on broadcloth, use a number 0 needle and number 00 silk. Begin the embroidery by taking the greatest care to see the needle going exactly from one line to the other. This work should be done so evenly and accurately so as to make it impossible to discern where the stitches join. Oh god, we're going to be terrible at this. On curved lines, you must know how to narrow the stitch on the inner curve as well as how to broaden it on the outer curves. See figure 1. So that oh, look at how pretty that is. Maybe one day will be that awesome. Those flowers. Satin stitch. So this is another photographic reproduction of actual work done on a Singer family sewing machine without special attachments. See, people are buying these embroidery machines, and originally you just used one machine. Stitches will be perfectly united without overlapping and without losing their uniformity. In other words, the work must be done just as carefully as though done by hand, the only difference being the medium employed. This necessity for uniformity of outline and accuracy in stitch precludes the possibility of doing it by machine as rapidly as the later is capable of working, but no matter how slowly you go, the method will always be much more rapid than by hand. True, which is why I love it. If we had to depend on handwork, we do not believe the large pieces of this raised embroidery so appropriately and artistically shown in the Arabian department of the Singer Sewing Machine Company's exhibition at Madrid would have been attempted. Oh, look at that. Is that like a sword on a curtain? There we have great cushions, divans, tabards, tabourets, and magnificent table cover, all covered all richly covered with raised embroidery. The most extraordinary example of this artistic work is a splendid curtain composed of strips of lace alternating with bands of raised embroidery, which we reproduce in figure 2. I don't know if I can do that. Had it been necessary to do all the work in this curtain by hand, it would probably never have been completed. Fair. There is shown also 2 other very showy, ooh, look at that, pieces of work, each richer and more exquisite than the other. Figure 3 is a handsome petticoat made of glossy silk with raised embroidery. Why do they show me pictures like this? You know what, though? I have a couple of other chemise petticoat things that I want to do for some outfits. Should we reproduce this one? I know, Jess, those flowers are beautiful. That squeak isn't that bad on my end, but No, it's okay. I just don't want people. No, you have nothing to be sorry about. I'm glad it's not. I hear it and it bugs me. But I know, not. It's so many things like irritate me that aren't always irritating to others. I just try to attempt to be more better than last time. Ah, this petticoat. Yes. Okay. Yes. I agree, Jess. All right. I think we're gonna do that. So we've got some cut work. We have. It almost looks like tulle. I can see. We have those sheer. Not sheer, but I've got some faux not faux sateen, because I think it's technically still sateen, even if it's more polyester. I don't. It's definitely not silk, and but yeah, because that's just little dots. We know how to do those. What is in the middle there? Did they fill it, or does it just look filled and it's all cut work? Or we could put some tulle in. Oh, Jess, you're too kind. You really enjoy watching me do my craft. It's something I don't think I could ever do. Oh, you're too sweet. I you're too you're very kind. I have a penchant for I do enjoy hand embroidery. I love crochet. I love lace, and I love lace. Which could be the end of that sentence. And I like I'll crochet it, knitted. I've tried some of the different needlework laces, and I do enjoy them, but I love the speed and the novelty of doing it at the sewing machine. Mostly, as they were just saying, it takes so much less time. Am I good? No. Well, just, should we well, while we ramble for a second, let's do another row of satin stitch while we ramble for a second, so we can attempt to be a better seamstress. Let's stop sharing for a second. Back. Yeah. I like that petticoat. Yeah. And all the old applicate of where they would use lace, like the under the bust for shaping. Just that's what you know. What, Jess? I enjoy I enjoy looking at quilts. I had my grandmother was an amazing quilter. She would do the piecing by machine and the quilting by hand, and I'm just there's I love that everybody is enjoys something different, because there's certain things like counted cross stitch. I have a sibling adores counted cross stitch, is fantastic. Oh, I've got one of their works in the other room. Just amazing. All of that counting would make me crazy, but I'll give me a knitted cable pattern and I'll do it. But it's also the same with folks who love color work in Tarja stuff or the Fair Isle knitting. Just shoot me now. Like all that counting and ends to work in, I absolutely dread it. It's just terrible to me. Give me I'll knit a delicate lace and need markers from now till 2 ways till Tuesday to try to keep track of everything. It's so funny, the things that we just enjoy doing versus the crafts that we're like, tried it, did it, not for me. Yeah, that's kind of what got me down that rabbit hole the other day of the ribbon quilling, because I see examples of it in the Indian, Pakistani sewers. They kind of use some of the same techniques still, but on YouTube there was not a single tutorial. You can find paper quilling and you can find ribbon flowers or ribbon embroidery, but the ribbon quilling is another lost art that we are going to revive. Oh, let's see here, Tess. Next year, I'm going to have a project where I'm quilting by hand. I have to have. You have a very large hoop coming. Yeah, my grandma it was like 20 inches, 24-inch hoop that she used. It was pretty big. Just the weight of it and moving it. I tried. She had this quilt that I had in my possession for a little while, and sat in the bag for a long time, and then my auntie was like, if you're not going to finish this, can I have it to finish it? And she did, and it was amazing. What I don't have that I know is around somewhere, she made me and my sibling these beautiful fan quilts when we were little, and I'm sure mine must still be at my parents' house because it didn't move with me. I know it didn't go anywhere. I kind of want it, but I don't know the next time I'm going to be back east right now. Because flying sounds terrible. And I either need to get a real idea. I need one of those too. I think I need to renew my passport because my driver's license isn't going to get me on a plane for much longer. All these, I have a little spell where the satin stitches are nicer. Probably didn't help that I wasn't very good with my 1/4-inch line drawing. It's almost harder to sew the bigger satin stitches than it is. Oh, I think I just ran out of bobbin. Something does not look. Oh my god, you're already playing. Jess, you planned projects for 2026 already? 2025 just started. Oh. I've only figured out this year's projects with a few extras. Yeah, let's load in a gray so I can see if there's any problems. Ooh, we're getting better. The back looks less crappy. Oh, I'm also glad I'm figuring out how to use my camera better so that we're like focused. Okay, and I'm glad that I reviewed the book. So for this bobbin, we're going to put it in, gonna slide it down till it gets to the peak. Then you pull it back up under so that it catches. Which I'm explaining very terribly. Okay, we pull it down the slot to the notch and then back up under the little piece so that we can hold it. Now our bobbin is appropriately loaded. Hey little dude, come on. What are you doing? What you doing, Thumper? Come on. What? What are you doing? You're just being a terror? You being a nightmare? God, Jess, I have a few things that are always on the list that's forever growing like we all do. Fair, that's, yup. That is kind of like me and my attempts to manage mount scrap more. I haven't, let's do a little fun. I haven't taken, but I was going to fill up this water-soluble canvas before I took it off. Yeah, that's my quilted house coat and stays. Those are definitely on my forever, I don't think they're going to get, they've been on my list and in the works for 2 years now, but I don't know when they're actually going to get done, so they're just on the list. Figured I'd like fill in all of this water soluble and then dissolve it all at once rather than having all these waste all this. And just Going back to one of the things we sew best, spider webs. 'Cause I feel like it's spooky around here at the circus. Because for whatever reason, I can't like throw out all the little scraps. I even save my thread trimmings until I have enough and then throw them into the tulle sacks to stitch over, which is how I got into the idea of doing the, what's the word? Making a pair of stays out of the tulle. Because I'd sewn 3 of them last year, and I was like, what's their purpose? And I was like, well, they don't need one necessarily other than to be aesthetically pleasing and to look at and bring me joy. But I also thought to make new flavored versions of garments would just be amusing to me. And that's enough of a reason to do a project. Am I amused? We're simple. Oh, sorry, I've got my hand in front of my stitching here. Just spiraling around. Because for some, I've seen different ways where they do that in the hand embroidery when they do the pad stitching. They just take some big stitches in the scallops and then stitch over them. Maybe we'll try that after we do this little work on this spider web. Let's try a couple scallops and pretend that we're making a fancy border for our chemise. I'm getting antsy to cut into that green sheer striped fabric for our chemise a la reine. But I keep going back. I found in my collection that I do have a copy of corsets in crinoline and something else. So we're looking at the different corded stays. Oh, Jess, I have a huge pile of scraps too. I'm thinking of a scrappy quilt maybe. Yeah, I was in my head thinking of if and when we get good at the machine embroidery, not if it's possible, I know I can make anything possible, but to do a crazy quilt with, instead of hand embroidering on the seams, to machine embroider little motifs around. Because would it really surprise anybody to be like, Phoenix loves crazy quilts? Yes, I'm utterly obsessed. I think they're amazing. I'm not sometimes I love a simple black outfit, but also I love maximalist ornamentation. I think it's the Slavic in me. Just like, there's an empty spot, let's paint little motifs. Let's do something. Because I love the crazy quilts, but the thought of hand embroidering an entire quilt just sounds like a nightmare amount of time. But if I could machine little motifs, that's my jam. I know, because then I was sewing and garment stuff. It's not like I have just straight pieces, or somebody's like, oh, I just have a box of 2-inch strips. I'm like, I don't have scraps that uniform. I've got random bits and bobs. And there's one spider web. Let's sketch we'll pretend that we're at the border and we'll do a scallop. See if we can do a raised scallop. I don't really want to use my watercolor pencil. I have a plain one. Rude. Okay, so if we're gonna be scallops on the edge, we'll pretend this is our edge. So we'll go tote. And I'm just going to stitch over the stuff that I didn't like earlier. Oh, let me see. Can I... There, let me draw the line so that we can see it on camera. Oh. Alright, you're ambidextrous. Use the hand that's not occluding the lens. There. And of course, I did not follow a line. We'll just pretend that's our line. So I'll kind of like do some big stitches and then we'll fill it in. And then we'll cut it away and have a cute little scalloped edge. Let's try it. Oh wow, folks have been hanging out for a whole hour at the crazy show. Thanks, folks. If you don't mind, like, doing all those, smashing the buttons for me, that'd be super awesome. Yeah, I've called it Mount Scrap more. I just can't get rid of it. I mean, I'm gonna transform it, but I can't throw it out. I'm like, that has a purpose. Oh, I can almost take my leotards off of my design wall because we've done the basic ones, and I'm not ready to sew a performance costume yet because we've not been performing, so what do we need a fancy outfit for? Okay, so I'm just throwing down some big stitches. Then we'll do a couple lines of. Now let's sew a border. Hey, dude. Okay, if our stitches. You know, somebody on Craigslist is selling a beautiful, what is it, that hobby dolly? The one with no face with the big bonnet. That was an old-fashioned pattern, a classic motif. I'm trying to sell it on Craigslist, and it's beautiful for $1,500, and they had to mark it down. And I really like. I'm glad that somebody's trying to sell their work at a reasonably priced, at a fair wage for it, but I'm kind of sad because I don't think anybody's going to buy it. People are like, why would I spend $1,500 on a quilt? But it was hand quilted. And I can't. Just gotta use good. Part of me like wants to rescue it, but that's not a good use of my money right now. But it's so adorable. Okay, so we're just practicing our Satan stitch. I really should stop calling it that, but yeah, maybe next week. Oh. Hold on, I gotta mute for a second. Okay. Little poop head was attacking Loki while he was sleeping, and Loki must have fallen off his spot. So. Not ideal, but not the emergency I was afraid that was happening. Yeah, see, I probably could have filled this in a little bit denser with the understitching. You know what we can do next is we can try with the cord and see. Actually, brain. Just thinking of ways to practice. Hey, Raw XP, welcome to the circus. Welcome to the shit show. How are you doing? Yes, we are on We're So in Fire. Welcome, welcome. I hope you're having a great Saturday. That you had a, I can't, who was at the dance party last night? I don't get. Awesome. We are just doing some practice with our squeaky machines and trying to keep antique, old-fashioned crafts alive. We're on a one-person mission to make sure that these things don't fall by the waysides in the English language. I see folks do stitching like this, but it's in Brazil, in Hungary. Nobody's making. I don't see any videos in English, so it's our mission. And we love beautiful, over-the-top outfits. Awesome, awesome. I know we're not very North American today. We're missing our Mexican and Canadian representatives. But that's alright. I don't ever expect anybody to. Nobody's obligated to stop by this shit show except for me, because I run the show. I'm the mistress of this circus. What I'm going to do is take our filler cord and stitch around, because then we could pretend. Well, this one we're going to fill in. For this other one, you could use the filler cord on the outside and then do cut work, and it just gives a little extra je ne sais quoi. So let's play. If I can figure out where's the, what's going on here? There we go. There's the end. One of these days we're going to treat ourselves to silk thread, but I haven't showed off my thread tub in a while. We kind of have an entire tub of thread, so I don't need any new colors. Don't need anything. Do I always want to go to the Goodwill and look at stuff? Yes, but so I'm just shortening the satin stitch and just trying to encapsulate and be very careful that the white filler cord is not popping through here. And I realize my finger's in the way, but I don't want it to stay where it's supposed to. Oh, I'm covering up. Ah! Okay, sit up straight, put your smile on. Don't have gamer I think it's concentration face, because when I was studying juggling, it's the same thing. When you have that like blank stare with your mouth open, and we're not trying to have that look. Okay, now I can move my finger because I'm just going back, make sure everything's nicely filled in. Why are we not? Pretending our stitches are beautifully even and spaced so that our teacher won't flunk us, because right now we are failing embroidery school. But what are you gonna do? And we don't get to pat ourselves on the back as a participation trophy if we're the only one doing something, that doesn't mean we're the best. We still have to strive to be even more amazing with our technique. We want to be the best example, not just the only example. Oh, should I? I need to stand up for a second. So I'll grab the outfit we're going to wear tomorrow. have this cute princess cut. Okay, let me change the camera. I have a little leotard with an open back and long sleeves and a lace in the back. Oh, super cute. I tried it on. I didn't want to take it off. But I said, no, I can't overwear it until tomorrow. So tomorrow we're going to stitch in something super cute while we make a short version of it, because I was going to go through all my like random stretchies, but I have so much on the bolt of that geometric color block that I was like, no, we'll just, okay, see you later, dude. So I was just trying out different examples. So for the one that we're going to make tomorrow, the princess cut pattern of the bodice goes into the top of the short section. So that will be fun. So I'm just trying to meander the cord. Oh, the white. I'm trying to, oh, you know what, Phoenix? You can turn the project around so it stitches where you want. Who would have thought that fabric was movable? And it's so nice to not be fabric wrestling. All right, slow down, slow feet, and fast hands. Slow feet, fast hands. Oh, brain is going a miles a minute. Because I'm looking at the red shot silk. We could do some cut work on that dress too. So we've got that white, like sateen. So I was thinking originally, oh no, do I know how, can I stitch and talk? Has it been 3 years that we've been doing this and we're still flubbing up? Yes. Ow, where's my words? Oh, black and red stripe and then a red and white stripe to have like goth and then candy cane. I need to get into the closet and take out the rolls that we bought in December. So I just need to see stuff. Oh, don't drive backwards, kids. No. Okay, wow. Yeah, see, my stitches are too big, and that is like a hot trash. Phoenix School of How Not to Do It Machine Embroidery. Some of the abuelas are just, oh. People are so good. And then I come and just am an embarrassment to the craft. I know, not really, but it's also why I just do this for me, because people don't. It's one thing to make gifts and to do something because you enjoy it, but the thought of making money, who would want my stuff? Unless I start selling like little Rumble tie pins, but then who wears a tie? Who would anybody? I don't have enough people from Rumble watching because I'm not making YouTube tie pins, but do we want to make little Rumble Dorito pins? But then I'd have to update the website, deal with shipping. I don't know. I do know that somehow we're not catching our stitches appropriately. We are hot trash. Oh, we're also too close and I'm hitting the needle bar, needle screw next to the hoop. Oh. Do 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 do. I can leave the food. Oh, last year we were making up songs, and we were everybody like all this. Today's not the bitching show. That's for tomorrow. Save your bitch until tomorrow, Phoenix. Funniness. People complaining that they don't fit in chairs at their friends' houses. Can I complain? Can people buy shorter chairs? I would like all my friends' houses to have chairs where my short little legs touch the ground. Can I complain? Yeah, I'm gonna stop. It's not worth it, because not even my feet don't touch the ground in the chairs at my own house. I don't expect people to have chairs to fit me. Who does that? It's like when somebody asked me the last time we went to the movies, I was like, I think it was 2011. We went to the little art theater to see the Grateful Dead movie. I think it was literally the last movie I saw in a theater. And the answer to that is, tell me you fall asleep or get uncomfortable easily. I don't go out to movies. I'd rather sit at my own house with my own kitties. Who can watch a movie without cats curled up in your lap? I'm just overstitching again, just trying to practice being nice and careful. I'm doing a rather poor job, but it's so funny. I look at all this stuff where I'm sewing terrible, and then I look at all the stitches that we did last year before we started reading the book, and I was like, oh, we're not Misaki. We're not completely, utterly terrible. Before I started reading the book, I thought I sewed beautiful flowers and cutwork leaves. This orange one, I really like this one. Ugh. And then we started the lessons, and we so bad. We're so bad. There we go. Something is catching. What's going on under the hood here? Ooh, our bobbin is... No, it's right. It's just us being stuck. Nope, the back looks fine. It's just me. Yeah, so that's an example of filling stitch. Should we... Let's... Oh. This petticoat. I want it. I will make it. It's composed of... Wait, where did we stop reading? let's. There is shown also two other very showy pieces of work, each richer and more exquisite than the other. Figure 3 is a handsome petticoat made of glacé silk with raised embroidery on silk. The pattern is composed of large conventionalized flowers with openwork centers filled with various lace stitches. Oh, that's what's going on. In the center of each leaf, there is a solid space not cut out, covered with raised embroidered dots. These conventionalized flowers, which are separately, oh, and then applied onto the ruffle, which are made separately, then applied. So, okay, so the flowers, those, okay. Interesting. Huh. Okay, so okay, now we're figuring out how this is done. So some of it's done, the open work is done on it, and then other pieces are made separately, then stitched, applied on. These are applied separately, then appliqued onto the ruffle, are placed alternately at the upper and lower edge, and this, as well as the flowers themselves, are surrounded with a festoon of leaves and sprays as described in another lesson. This raised satin stitch is largely used for letters and monograms on table linen, or the what? Is that a chairproof? What am I looking at? Or the finest lingerie. This is what we like. We sew a lot of underwear around here. DMC mercerized cotton is the best for this purpose. Figure 4. Ooh, it's a lampshade. Figure 4 represents a lampshade that because of its exquisite design and graceful form is worthy of a place in the most elegant drawing room. The idea of embroidering objects of this kind is most satisfactory, as some of the embroideries produce magnificent effects when used as transparencies over light. I had not thought about that. Oh, we're going to have the most old-fashioned styled house pretty soon here. This shade is formed of 8 pieces of net, richly appliqued with embroidery done on glacé silk. The outline of the large leaves in the pattern is brought out in raised embroidery, as are the leaves of the sprays of clover. The net and silk of the points upon which the clover leaves appear have been cut away, leaving the latter to hang free. The seams formed by uniting the 8 pieces of net are covered with a raised embroidery design of 3-leaf clover. The shade is finished off in chiffon ruffles, the edges embroidered in points. Oh. Next section is scale up, bead stitch, and cording. But I think we're going to save that. Stop sharing. Let's do a little bit more practice. Let's just sew a little bit more on our water-soluble stabilizer. Should we sew a couple more? Let's do a couple more quick spider webs. Meow! What? What are you doing, dude? Always that chatty Kathy. These, one of my first kitties, their names were Mars and Bubasti, and they were so little. They used to jump through the spokes of my bicycle. They were that tiny. But Bubasti was such a big talker. reminded us of Marge Simpson, so we would call her Marge Bubasti. And Little Man kind of is very similar with that. He kind of embodies Booba, the soul of my sweet Booba, with the stomach of our cat Merlin, because Merlin was a 20-pound beast until we got them off of. Well, they went on a grain-free cat food diet. I'll just torture people's ears for a little bit longer. I need to figure out where that oil needs to happen. So we can't have this squeak for tomorrow's show. Or should we stitch at... Should we move the whole setup and stitch at our electric machine? We could. I do have more modern old-fashioned machines. It's been a hot minute since we've done a rolled hem at that machine. So I'm envisioning 20 meters of 3-inch wide strips for the chemise the chemise a la reine and the matching undergarments. It's a good thing that outfit is super loose fitting, because I'm still working out the pattern for the corded stays. I'll drag out tomorrow where I think I flubbed up and how we think we're gonna fix it. Okay, just a couple more stitches, then we'll leave. And we'll call it a show. It's never too early for spooky sewing at the circus. I guess we could sew a spider for our spider webs, but I already have 2 spider webs hanging up. Do I need more? Of course we do. Alright, one more spider web sewn. Okay. I'm super curious after we finish filling up how this is. Oh, hey, spider web. Really cute. I don't think this is gonna be sticky like the other stabilizer I have, and I'm super excited about that because I don't love that sticky feeling. What? It's transparent, so I realize the black on transparent is not the easiest to see. Not terrible. Not so bad. I've not bought anything. Well, I had to order some Genma tea from Amazon because at the market they were selling a pound of tea of the Genma chai for $33. And I was like, wait, I thought I just saw that a pound for under 14 on Amazon. So I was like, I think I need that. And I got it, and it was good. There's nothing like a nice tea, along with some good coffee. Coffee's for the morning, and tea filled with bubbles. is the rest of the day beverage. Oh, some like sewing crap. My brain was just like, what if we sewed our monogram? Should we do a PEC? Or do we take one of these things and try to make an animated GIF? How do I do that? Where's my smart tech friends? It's kind of like the black side of the moon. Oh, no, this is the black side of nowhere. What is happening? Go under the hoods. I got to be looking under the hood here. Alright. Next week, we're going to have so much embroidery to do. I'm going to call it a show because I'm kind of grumpy, and I would prefer to sew happy. Tomorrow we have lots of sewing. I'm going to do some organizing. We'll take a look at Mount Scrapmore. Oh. Hey. How's everybody doing? Thanks everybody for hanging out with me for a little while this Saturday morning. Tomorrow we'll have a more full-length 2-hour plus show. I'm always overly ambitious, and sometimes I sit at the machine and I'm like, I'm not feeling it. I guess, do people feel that way with games? Oh, hey. So, Little Man and I are going to bid you adieu. Have a great rest of your Saturday. We'll be back tomorrow at 3:30 Pacific Standard Time. Don't wait till tomorrow to be fabulous today, and don't laugh at others unless you've laughed at yourself. Make sure you pet your pussies. All right, meow. Get your foot out of my face.